If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and the best is blessed, baby.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. Keep it clean. Touch gloves if you wish. Let's do it.
What's up, Straight Talk Society? This is your boy Trevor, and I'm back with another episode of Straight Talk MMA UFC 288 review. And we're gonna get right into it. I'm joined by my co-hosts Zay and Bones. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? What's up, Straight Talk Society?
Yo, what's up?
Oh man, y'all. Yeah, y'all sound nice and clear now. All right. we gonna get into it, man. So sorry about that. We started a little late, man. We had a little issues going on, but it's all good. We got a great show in store for you. So real quick, before we get into the card, what was you guys' overall view of the event last night?
You can go first, Bonds.
Overall, I like the event. I thought that the prelims more delivered. In a weird sort of way, the prelims is kind of better than the main card, to be honest. But that was my overall thoughts on it.
Overall, yeah, I thought the card as a whole delivered. I was a little disappointed in a couple of things. It wasn't like the greatest card, but it definitely had some great moments and some great fights.
You know what? I'm going to bet that UFC show last night wasn't as enjoyable as the Backlash show that I watched this morning. I'm a bet that.
I don't know. I ain't watched Backlash, but I know which one I would enjoy more.
Yeah, I know that. Listen, that
was good.
That Backlash show was so enjoyable, and I mean, I think the crowd just did it. Like the crowd, I've never heard a crowd like that. I don't know if you guys remember the Canadian Stampede back in, I want to say 1997 or 1998, which is still today one of the greatest WWF crowds they've ever had. Last night's crowd blew that out of the water. Like, I mean, that crowd was there for everything. They did all the chants all night. When Bad Bunny came out, I thought the roof was going to blow off the place, even though they didn't have a roof on the building. Like it was crazy. Just absolutely crazy. All right, so let me get the So Zay, you did send me a message. You sent me a message and you were like, oh, not one, no fight has gone past the second or third round so far.
Yeah, I was like, we haven't seen the third round yet.
Yeah, and then when I when I was checking, I was looking at the card last night after my debate, and I was like, damn. I was like, as soon as he said that, it seemed like it went to be decision mania because
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was.
I jinxed it.
Prelims were a
I
little bit.
jinxed it.
Prelims had more action than the main card because the prelims had all finishes, and the main card didn't really have any finishes. So, but that's also because in the main card you have a higher level of competition, so you know it's a more narrow margin between the two fighters. You know what I mean?
man, you sound so good right now, man. All right, so let's get into this card. Let me know when this is up.
It's up.
All right, you guys. For some reason, I got the delay on my side, but all right.
Yeah,
So
I had
let's
to
get
wait too.
so let's get into it. UFC 288, Sterling versus CEJUDO. So we're gonna get into the Let's get into.
We can take it to the top.
We want to do the prelims first.
Yeah, yeah, early prelims all the way down.
Oh, you want to go early prelims also?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can touch on those.
All right, so let's get into the early prelims. You guys there? So first off, we had a middleweight bout, Joseph Holmes versus Claudio Ribeiro, and Claudio Ribeiro was the winner via KO.
I'm almost positive this was Holmes' UFC debut. He's kind of a newer fighter, and I just kind of felt like the lights were a little bit too bright. He got hit, and then when he dropped, he just kind of turtled up, like he shelled up, like he didn't want no more. You know what I mean? So the referee stopped the fight. Like he didn't. I felt like he didn't want to beat him once he got dropped on Raw, basically.
Damn. So wait a minute, he got hit and didn't want to fight no more.
No, it wasn't like a Luke Rocco situation. He got dropped like legitimately, but you know how like some fighters when they get dropped, they turtle up and they turn their back away from the fighter from you know that's why the referee got to stop the fight because he wasn't defending himself. You know, like the guy just he wasn't doing nothing about it. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying you know it's just the way it was basically.
And this fight, yeah, Joseph Holmes was making his debut, and this is Claudio's, I think, first or second appearance. It was pretty good in the first round. It was back and forth for a while until Joseph Holmes ate a knee, and when he ate that knee, he almost got stopped in the first round. So in between rounds, I think he never fully recovered from that knee. In between rounds, his corner was talking to him. He had that during the headlights look. Came out in the second round, and this dude Claudio Ribeiro got some mean power. He dropped him, and when he dropped him, yeah, like he said, he just shelled up, covered up, turned his back. That's like a fighter's way of saying, "All right, get me out of here."
All right, well, let's keep this train rolling. In the next bout, we had a middleweight bout that ended in round one via KO TKO. You had Phil Hawes losing to Ikram Aliskerov.
This fight was kind of hard for me to watch because I'm a huge Phil Hawes fan, and he was in his. It was kind of like a hometown fight for him. Like he was fighting in his backyard, and I expected him to win because I don't know much about the other guy. But Phil Hawes, he ate a head kick and it kind of stumbled him a little bit. And then after he hit that head kick, maybe like 5 seconds later, he got caught with like a 1-2, just like straight jabs, and it was like 2 punches straight away on his chin. Like you know where they say that the button is, he got hit like with 2 jabs right on that button, and she was kind of like ducking down a little bit, and they just put him out cold. He was out, and I feel like the head kick, it kind of led to that because I don't think he ever fully recovered from that head kick. So I feel like he was already kind of almost out of it. And then those 2 jabs just was the icing on the cake.
Yeah, this fight was pretty crazy the way it played out. I felt kind of bad for Phil Hawes. He was on a little win streak, and then he came in. He looked he looked better than I ever seen him look. To be honest with you, his striking was so crisp and so on point. He looked real fluid. He was going to the body a lot. He was using a lot more kicks. Like you usually don't see him kick that much. And he was just like in a flow state. And this is almost like, even though it was not even a full round, it was to tell the two fights looked like, because he was in a flow state. He was just looking real impressive. And all of a sudden he caught a head kick. And like you said, when he got wobbled, he ended up getting dropped. I feel like when he got hit with that 1-2, the one didn't connect, but the two did. And I would say shout out to Askarov for just keeping his composure. And even though he's a young fighter, this may have been his debut, he showed that he can stay composed and weather through adversity. And he got some power, obviously.
All right, so that's the second KO of the night. So looks like we're about to hit another KO. So in the next bout in the early prelims, you got the big boys, Braxton Smith losing to Parker Porter via TKO, 2 minutes and 10 seconds in the first round.
All right, just another situation where Braxton Smith was making his UFC debut. Parker Porter, I've seen him fight a few times, but I can't tell you like one person that he fought. Basically, what I'm saying is like his fights have been unimpressive and not memorable. But he came into this fight and weirdly enough, he looked like he dropped about 10, 15 pounds, maybe even 20 pounds. I'm not sure, but he definitely lost some weight though. He was looking a lot slimmer, and I felt like that helped him out a lot because Braxton Smith, bro, he got a body of like a tree trunk. Basically, he just thick all the way around. You know what I'm saying, from head to toe, and he got like that good base or whatever. So, Parker Porter ended up catching him and catching him with a knee to the body, and Braxton Smith kind of fell over, and Parker Porter just started just unloading on him, hitting him, teeing off on him, and Braxton Smith turtled up and he didn't want no more. So the referee stopped the fight. But this was the biggest win of Parker Porter's career. And I feel like him dropping that weight is going to help him out a little bit more because he looked a little bit more lean and a little bit more fluid in his movement.
Yeah, Zay, go ahead and unmute yourself. I muted you when you weren't talking because I'm still hearing like a little rumbling in the back. Oh, I guess I had to do it. All right.
All right, there we go. Yeah. Parker Porter, did he or did he not? I know he fought Chase Sherman, but he didn't beat him.
I don't think he did. No.
All right, well, yeah, this fight was pretty exciting. I feel like Braxton Smith came out and pretty much just tried to end the fight real quick, and I think he ran out of gas pretty early. He was throwing a lot of shots. They were all haymakers. They were all wild shots. He connected with a few, but I think Parker Porter definitely improved his conditioning by dropping those couple of pounds. Like, neither one of these guys are small by any means, but he definitely slimmed up. And I feel like it helped him out in the long run because he was able to weather the storm. And I didn't really catch that knee until I saw the replay that he did to the body. So I thought he just gassed out, but I think that definitely helped him. And when he went to the ground, it's like it looked kind of pathetic, to be honest, because he didn't have no fight left in him whatsoever. It's like he was explosive, and then it was just nothing. So that was pretty weird to see. But yeah, shout out to Parker Porter. That was a nice little finish. He didn't let him off the hook when he went down. He punished him with like about 7-8 hammer fists.
Jeez.
And the referee stopped it.
I think Braxton Smith had a big adrenaline dump because like the first maybe 2 minutes he was throwing some bombs and some haymakers, and like he just gave out instantly.
So let me ask you, are any of these two guys here, do you guys ever see them in heavyweight title contention?
No.
No, I don't. But I mean, with Braxton Smith, it's way too early to tell. This is his debut. and he's like
Okay.
in his early, I'm pretty sure he's in his early 20s. He came from I think he played college football for Alabama or something like that, and transitioned to MMA. So it's too early to tell, but I mean, I can't see it right now.
Okay, but he is there's room to get better.
Yeah, just
Right.
like DC Daniel Cormier, he was saying that he got raw talent. He just need like a little tune up. He needs somebody to just kind of teach him the ropes of it. You know what I mean? Because you can see that the talent is there, and he got some power, but every shot can't be a power punch. You know what I mean? You got to kind of throw some jabs in there, mix it up. You know, and all that comes with experience.
So okay, hold on, because I'm glad that you said that. This goes back to what we always talk about, like the early days of UFC, and now these guys are being trained in so many different arts and so many different styles, but then you still have these guys come in, all they want to do is throw haymakers. Like, is that a recipe for success?
I feel like it is until it isn't, depending on who you are. I mean, you got to have the cardio to do it, and you got to have a chin because when you're throwing, you leave yourself open. But I mean, I feel like, will it get you a title? Possibly. I mean, it worked for Francis, but Francis rounded out his game before he got to that title shot. But that's what got him to the dance. But then by the time he got there, he was able to be a little bit more technical and methodical, and he was also able to incorporate some grappling defense. But there's this heavyweight, Sergey Pavlovich. He just set a record for winning his last 6 or 7 fights by KO in the first round. So, and that's what he does. He just comes out and he just straight guns blazing for the finish.
So why not go into boxing?
I don't know. Good question.
Wait, what was your original question, Trevor? Because
No, well, you have MMA is so well rounded now when it comes to like different arts and things like that. But then every now and then you got these guys that come in and all they want to do is throw haymakers, and it doesn't seem to be sustainable.
no.
You know, for a long run. So Zay says that it works until it doesn't, which, yeah, that's right. But I don't think anybody could really sustain that, not being able to wrestle, not be able to have any jujitsu. Just all they want to do is come in and throw punches. And it's almost reminiscent of the old school UFC where they would just come in and just swing for the fences. So I'm just wondering, like, why these guys don't go to boxing.
Well, that's why most guys are going to bare knuckle now. You seen a lot of ex-UFC fighters who was like on the cusp of getting a title shot or on the cusp of being in the top 5 or whatever. Now they're in bare knuckle, like Alan Belcher, Ben Rothwell, you know, people like them. Mike Perry was never finna get a title shot in the UFC, but in bare knuckle, I'm a champion.
Yeah, you saw Eddie Alvarez, the only guy I think who held a UFC belt that went to bare knuckle.
Yep.
So, all right, well, let's get into this. Let's get into the regular the prelims. So now you have in a woman's strawweight bout, Marina Rodriguez loses the decision over Verna Jandiroba. 3 rounds unanimous decision.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna let you take this one first.
All right, this fight was I was disappointed in the outcome. I feel like Marina Rodriguez is a more entertaining fighter, and she was on a streak. Verna Jandiroba pretty much took her down in the first round and held her there for the whole first round. Marina Rodriguez was trying to throw up submissions, but none of them was working. So then in the second round, I feel like Marina was afraid to really let her hands go, and that's one of the beauties of having that wrestling style, where if somebody feel like they're so worried about being taken down, it makes it hard for them to let their offense go. You get what I'm saying? Because they're afraid a kick can get caught, a punch can get ducked under, and they can get grabbed. So it kind of like froze her up a little bit, and then she just got grappled the whole fight until the third round. The third round, she started letting her hands go out of desperation because she knew she was down 2-0, and she was connecting with some powerful shots, but I mean, it was too late.
So
Yeah, I didn't.
well, hold up real quick, Bones. So you said that she had her and like basically just laid on her the first round. They don't stand you up anymore?
I mean, yeah, if you're not doing nothing. But I've never really been a big fan of the stand up because I feel like it's your job to get him off you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you don't want him to hold you there, then don't let him.
I get you. I get it.
I mean, it's not as entertaining to watch, but from an entertainment standpoint, yeah, stand him up. But from a competitive standpoint, it's like, oh, so I got to get off of you because you can't get me off you.
Yeah, it's part of the art. Like, yeah, you should be able to get them up off of you.
Listen, the first word in mixed martial arts is mixed. You know what I'm saying? It's different forms of grappling and striking and different forms of karate and all that kind of stuff. So you got to be well rounded. And I agree with bro on that one. I'm not a huge fan of the stand up unless it's something like extremely egregious where they just literally just laying on you and that's it. But she was being effective and she was trying to submit her and stuff like that. Um, I didn't see this one coming. I thought Marina would win this fight. I just have one question. I'm not sure if Marina isn't as good as I thought she was, or if I was just sleeping on the other girl, Araújo. So I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure out. But
Yeah,
I
that's
would say in the third round, Marina Rodriguez was catching it with some nasty up kicks. I think within the last minute, and I kind of thought she was going to at least drop her one of them because she was catching it with some nasty ones.
yeah, I
And,
forgot
up
about
kicks
that. Off her back.
pretty. Yeah, up kicks are pretty brutal because you're kicking your opponent like you literally using all your leverage from the grounded position to kick up and hit him in the face. So
You was gonna say something, Zay?
Oh no, I was just saying I forgot about that part. Those were pretty nasty at the end of the fight. Those up.
I think the most vicious up kick I ever seen was Anderson Silva when he kicked Vitor Belfort. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, no, yeah, that was nasty. He talking about the kicks like when the person is laying on their back and you standing over. Yeah. He talking about like that.
Okay,
But yeah, that was nasty though.
Yeah, that shit, man. I was like, good Lord. I never seen a man get crumbled just like that, man. He was that boy went to sleep.
That moment should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. All right. So in our next bout, we have a welterweight bout. Chaos Williams versus is that Chaos Williams versus Rolando Bedoya, and Chaos won in a 3-round split decision.
this fight was more competitive than I would have liked. But once again, we don't know much about Rolando Bedoya. That's why most people pick Chaos to win. Chaos, like I said before, he a knockout artist. But one thing I'm noticing about him is he leaves himself open a lot for counter striking, and he kind of have his head up a lot. And he kind of head hunts, which isn't a good thing when you start getting into like the top 10 and top 5 of the division. Because by you leaving your head exposed like that, somebody gonna catch you. So this fight, it was back and forth. He didn't dominate the fight, and even if Bedoya would have got the decision, I wouldn't call it a robbery. Because honestly, I didn't know who the judges were gonna give it to when all 3 rounds were said and done. Because you never know. But shout out to Bedoya because I don't know much about him, and I thought he was gonna get knocked out like within the first round. Man, he was having fun in there too. This is his UFC debut, and he didn't seem like it was too much for him. He didn't seem like the lights were too bright for him and stuff like that. So
yeah, even in the loss, I was extremely impressed with Rolando Bedoya. I'm looking forward to seeing him again and seeing what the future holds for him in the UFC. Chaos Williams, I was gonna say the same thing. I'm noticing that when he throws, he leaves his chin up in the air and he has no head movement whatsoever. So I feel like if Bedoya had more power or a more experienced guy, they probably gonna put him to sleep. So he need to definitely tighten up on that. I thought it was pretty interesting how he obviously doesn't have or doesn't feel comfortable switching stances because that left leg was getting chewed up, but he still kept it as his lead leg. Wasn't really trying to check kicks either. I guess just overall he needed to improve on his defense and he needed to I guess learn how to grapple some too, because I mean he seemed like a one trick pony. Like even though he won, I just saw like I was more impressed with his opponent. I can't argue with the result, but I was more impressed with his opponent. I feel like he should be further along than what he is.
All right. So our next bout, we got a light heavyweight bout. Kennedy and CEJUDO versus Devin Clark, and CEJUDO won in the second round, 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 28 seconds in the second round via submission. And I want to say I think you guys said that this was going to happen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we both put him in the first round.
We thought we were gonna knock him out though because he's a knockout artist. But this fight was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Zechuku got rocked, and he stumbled into the cage. And when Devin Clark came and clinched him up and tried to finish him, he gassed himself out. And then Zechuku turned him around, put his back against the cage, and started hitting him with heavy elbows and heavy knees to the body. I feel like Devin Clark was about to get finished before the round ended. They went into the second round, and it was more the same. And Zechuku kept pushing him up against the fence and getting that Muay Thai clinch and kneeing him in the belly. And Devin Clark, he tough, man. He tried to survive. He took some punishment, and he fought back. But at one point, he went to shoot for a takedown. And when he was shooting for the takedown, he left his neck out, and so he got put in the standing guillotine. Kennedy and Zechuku, I'm pretty impressed with the way he bounces back from adversity because I remember the Carlos Ulberg fight. It's like he was getting he got hurt real bad. Like, it was an even fight, and then when he got hurt, it's like it flips a switch inside of him. So I kind of like that. That's entertaining to see. But yeah, overall, this fight was very entertaining. I feel like Zechuku should probably be breaking into the top 15.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like this was a monumental win for Nzechuku because he faced adversity, and like you said, he got rocked in the first round, and he was able to withstand that, and then he was catching him with some nasty elbows up against the cage, and I thought he was going to finish him with that too, but it just shows to the level of toughness that we was talking about before with Devin Clark. Like you either gotta knock him out cold or submit him cold, like put him out cold. You feel me? He ain't tapping out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let it be known, he never submitted.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. That's what I was getting at. Like, bro, like he didn't tap out. You feel me? And I remember, Trevor, you asked me a while back, would I rather go to sleep or tap? And I would choose going to sleep any day, you know. But this dude, Devin Clark, man, when he first got in the submission, at first I thought he tapped, but he was trying to readjust himself and get more like leverage or whatever because he knew he was going out. But then when the referee, stopped the fight, he just dropped like a sack of just potatoes and he just dropped and he was out. But I don't know what Ryan Span's ranking is, but I like to see Kennedy and Nzechuku fight Ryan Span next because I think they both kind of similar fighters, but I feel like Nzechuku can get him, and I'm pretty sure Ryan Span is ranked in the top.
That'll never happen.
15. You don't think so? Why?
Because they like besties and shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we have that going on. They won't fight one another because they're friends.
Some people do.
Some people don't care, but I feel like put it this way: when Kennedy and Zechuku mom passed, I found out because Ryan Span was crying in the interview. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they're like really really close.
But another example was Gilbert Burns. He
Yeah,
was
come
from
on.
Kamaru Usman, and Kamaru was a champion, and they was actually training together, and they offered Gilbert Burns a shot at the title, and he took it. And him and Kamaru, they talked about it, and they were cool about it. They took it. And so Gilbert left the gym. Kamaru stayed, and they fought. And Gilbert lost, and they shook hands and made up afterwards. But to some people, the championship is more important than the friendship, and to other people, the friendship is more important.
Okay, so what do you guys feel if you're in the UFC, and you're in any combat sports, like hell, any type of competitive sport? Hell, I'm in a debate league, but I would sure as hell debate my friend if it came down to the championship. What do you guys feel when it comes to in regards of winning a championship? Because like, isn't that the reason why you're in it?
Yeah, and at the same time, it's like it's kind of hard to say I'm gonna put my dream on hold because you're fulfilling yours, and at the same time, it's like damn, like I would probably say let's go ahead and make this fight and get this money and may the best man win. We can still be friends after.
Now, if it's somebody that I've been training with for years and stuff like that, I couldn't do it because I feel like it's hard to go back and get that for me anyway. Like I can't go out there and in the octagon and put somebody to sleep or like have that level of aggression against them. And then afterwards, we just best friends. I mean, maybe I could. I'm not a fighter, so I can't say, but I don't think I would do it though.
All right, leave it to me to bring it right home, y'all brothers. If weight class be damned, say y'all equal up pound for pound, championship on the line, $100,000 contract, $100,000 on the line, UFC contract. Are y'all knocking each other out?
No, I
Nah,
wouldn't.
I
I
can never do
Hey, I'll put my brother ass out cold. I wouldn't even lie to
that. That's probably because y'all got a different relationship.
you. I would put his damn lights out, no questions asked. Oh
Nah,
shit!
you're a savage, true.
All right.
Straight savage.
All right, I just noticed this. I'm hoping I didn't miss this for any of the previous fights. I don't know why this just stood out. In this next lightweight bout, you have Drew Dauber versus Matt Frivola, and Matt Frivola got the win in the first round, 4 minutes and 8 seconds via KO. But what I just noticed is a little tab at the top that says it was the performance of the night. So I hope I didn't miss that on any other fights, like anybody else didn't get fight of the night or anything like that.
You ain't come up to him yet.
All right. So what you guys got on this? This was performance of the night. So this had to be spectacular.
Yeah, this is one of the fights when you asked us yesterday who's gonna be KO of the night, and we both said this is either gonna be KO of the night or performance of the night. But we both, I'm pretty sure we both picked Drew Dober. I know I did. I picked Drew Dober because he's more experienced and he's more of a UFC vet, so he's been in more wars, and the fight went how I played out. I just didn't get the right outcome correct because they went into the war and they were banging with each other, which I expected to happen. But I thought that because it was going to be like a banger or a war that would favor Drew Dober, and he would counter and drop Frivola. And Frivola was in his home too, so he had that hometown energy behind him, and the whole time the crowd was chanting his name, his nickname, the Steamroller. But man, they were going back and forth, and he caught Drew with a hook, I believe, like a counter hook, and Drew fell to the ground, and he just caught him with some ground and pound follow up shots. And when the referee stopped the fight, Drew was protesting the stoppage, but it was a correct stoppage because he ate, I would say, like 5 unanswered punches to the face. And you don't want to see a fighter take extra punishment, but I was surprised with Frivola. I think Drew Dober I'm not sure what his ranking is, but
He was 14, I believe, coming into this fight.
what number?
He was 14.
14.
Yeah, he was 14.
Yeah, I don't see his ranking on here, but I'm pretty sure he was number 14.
With that being said, he should probably be 15 and put Frivola at 14.
I
But
don't know. Oh, you done? You wanna?
Done.
Nah, I don't know about that because I feel like the way he lost was like it was pretty devastating. I also did pick Drew Dober. I pretty much the same way he saw it. I saw it. I thought he was gonna be the vet. I feel like Matt Favola is wilder and he throws more like wilder punches. So I thought Drew Dober was gonna keep his composure and just out technique him a little bit. I knew that it could end in a KO. I expected it to end in a KO. I knew it was going to be a war. It delivered on both standpoints. So from that point of view, um, Matt Favola, he seemed like he incorporated kicks more into his game. Like he usually don't kick as much. He came out throwing quite a few kicks. Um, it was it was truly embarrassing actually.
yeah, truly, yeah. I was
It
wondering if you saw that comment on
was.
the screen.
It was truly embarrassing. And the most embarrassing part about it, all right, it was cool because Drew Dober threw like a right hook to the body, and at the same time, Favola caught him with a right hook to the chin. And when he got dropped, it's like Favola jumped on top of him and caught him, like he said, like six unanswered. And then when it was over, he was looking at the referee and he was complaining about like, why did you stop it? And then when he got up, he was stumbling around. So it's like you can't even stand up, but you asking me why I stopped it. I will say too, he was pretty bloody, but one of those cuts, the original cut on the forehead, came from a clash of heads real early. But the other one on his eye and his nose was just straight damage. So welcome to the top 15, Matt Favola.
So speaking of blood, again, I didn't watch Backlash last night, but we watched it this morning. Man, Brock Lesnar was bleeding like a pig. I mean, like he was cut. You know, Cody busted him up pretty good. Like he was he was looking like when he fought Cain Velasquez, like he got his ass kicked.
So is it worth going back to watch?
Oh no, the event was fantastic. The
Okay.
event was fantastic, and I'm not gonna lie, the crowd played a major part in that. Even in the first match, Bianca versus Io. I know Bones will love that one. Did you see it, Bones?
It was fantastic.
You saw? Oh, so you
All right,
did see it.
Don't ruin it for me. I'm gonna go back.
But what did you feel about like? Okay, hold on. I'm hearing that humbling again. What did you feel about the crowd basically turning on Bianca? They didn't. I mean, they picked sides.
It goes back to what me and you've been saying for the longest about Bianca, man. She needs a character change, and
But she played the character so well, though. I loved it.
I know because I was watching it with my girl, and I was telling her, I'm like, "Hey, this is the greatest women's wrestler of all time." But then I was telling her also, she needs a character change, and she was asking me like, "Oh, like why would you say that if you think she's the greatest?" I'm like, because even though she's the greatest, she can still be even better. You know what I mean? If they just switch her a little bit, you know.
Man,
But also, it showed that Io need to break away from damage control.
well, I think I know we don't want to ruin it for Zay, but I think that's where it's going. Just because I mean, she was well on her way, and there was no reason for them to come out there. But
Nope.
did you what did you think about Bailey's outfit?
I don't remember her too much, to be honest.
Oh man, all right, go back and look at it.
All right.
Oh boy. All right, let's get into the main card. Oh man. Where am I? All right. So the first match in the main card, we had Crone Gracie versus Charles Jourdain, and that went to a 3-round unanimous decision with Jourdain coming out as the victor.
All right. For this fight, I picked Crone Gracie, and I picked him because I was saying that in his last fight, he looked not good. He didn't look good at all. He was a one-trick pony, and his stand-up wasn't good. He got beat up and battered. Got his nose broken and everything. He just got beat up real bad, and he took 2 years off. So my thinking was because he took 2 years off after a loss, like he was 5-0. mind you, and then he lost a fight. So I'm thinking that because he was a young athlete, he was going to get in the lab and get better and train, and like evolve his game and everything, especially taking 2 years off. But he came into this fight and it was the same damn thing, basically. Like his stand up wasn't good. He was within the first, I would say, 30 seconds. Charles Jourdain caught him with like a good 1-2, like an uppercut or something like that, and he just started kind of showing up a little bit. And basically he was just trying to just get the fight to the ground, and there were certain times where the fight would go to the ground, and Charles Jourdain would stand up, and it was like the awkward situation where he's still in on the ground, trying to invite the opponent to come down to the ground to him, and the referee just got to make him stand up on his own or whatever, because that was his only path to victory. But Charles Jourdain just beat him up pretty decently though, and this was a bad loss for Kron Gracie because he got to go back to the drawing board.
All right, you see Kron Gracie, you see how he look like he need to go to the barbershop.
Yeah.
I feel like his performance was worse than that. Like this fight right here pissed me off so bad. Shit, damn near put me to sleep. This was the most boring. I can't say it was the most boring fight I've ever seen, but thank God it was 3 rounds. Kron Gracie is the typical, like he's the poster child for this ain't 1997 no more. You feel me? Like you can't come in here with one skill and try to compete with the upper echelon of today's MMA fighter. Like he brought that one skill to the octagon and he tried so desperately to use it. He pulled guard like 3 times. That was the only time they was on the ground, and dude was able to get back up. He T-Rexed a lot, like make sure he didn't want to leave his arms exposed, but he didn't even really attempt too many submissions when they were on the ground. It was just so one-dimensional, and it took away from the fight. I feel like this fight was a waste of everybody's time. Should have never been on the main card, but I guess just because he's a Gracie, and I think he should go back to jiu-jitsu competitions. He got pieced up on the feet, even when he had no head movement whatsoever. I think he probably threw like 20 strikes that I could remember, and probably 10 of those was on the ground from his back. And the way he didn't try to take down, when he was trying to get his takedowns, he wasn't even shooting. He was just like running up and grabbing, trying to like wrap his hands around him like it was a jiu-jitsu competition. Like that shit had me mad. Like I could never see him fight again.
Jeez.
Hey, it was so bad, and like I don't never advocate for people to lose their jobs, nothing like that. But whatever contract he has, whenever his fight is up, his fights are up, I wouldn't re-sign him. I don't think they should re-sign him.
Damn, that
I
bad?
think they're gonna cut him. I don't even think he's gonna get another fight in the UFC. I think they're gonna cut him. Like it was just so one-dimensional. Like it's just like how we were saying how like how you were talking about the guys who used to just want to brawl and throw haymakers. He's the same thing, but on the ground, and it just goes to show, like, yeah, like you can't do what Hoist used to do because that was a different time. They didn't have a time limit, so even if you got somebody on the ground, you had all night to try to work for the finish, as opposed to working towards the clock. Like that style is not really made for MMA.
Yeah, because you're gonna get pieced up every time. You can't win. Like, granted, his first fight, he fought Bruce Leroy. He was able to get him to the ground, and he submitted him in the first round. But his second fight with Cub Swanson, he got thrashed, and he looked not good. And he took 2 years off, and he came back and looked even worse than the last time. So, yeah.
So, so you mentioned you got. I'm hearing that noise again. You mentioned. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay, there you go. So you mentioned. Oh shit! What happened? Zay fell off. All right. But you mentioned like him getting cut and things like that he probably should get cut. What do you think about UFC? Like, would they be better served if they had like almost like a developmental league?
They kind of do have a developmental league, which is Titan FC. A lot of the fighters they get from Titan FC or in Europe and England, you got something called Cage Warriors. That's where they got McGregor from. McGregor came from Cage Warriors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the new guy Paddy Pimblett, he was in Cage Warriors. So like a lot of their European talent they get from smaller organizations, and plus they have the Contender Series too. So they do have a little system, a little developmental system. It's not as like the way NXT is to WWE, but it is a form of a developmental system. But honestly, I think that because he's a Gracie, they're trying to hype him up and promote him, and they want him to succeed. That's why he's getting these opportunities. To be honest, which I mean, he deserved it because he started out 5-0, like I said. So
And then he just took a shit.
yeah,
Hey, to me, he just looked like uninvested. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't even at the press conference before the fights, he just looked like he didn't really give a shit about being there. He didn't want to be there. During the fight, he looked like he was just like going through the motions. It's just I don't know. He looked like I don't know, like somebody forced him to take this fight or something.
Damn. All right. So in our next bout, man, I haven't heard y'all shit on a guy like that in a while. In our next bout, we have a featherweight bout between Masvar Elov versus Diego Lopez. That went to a 3-round unanimous decision, and it was also the fight of the night with Masvar taking the victory.
Lopez took this fight, I think on 10 days notice or something like that. So coming into this fight, nobody gave him a shot, especially Malzar being ranked number 10. He's just that typical just Russian that just suffocates you and just maul you basically. But he not a finisher though. I think he's 5-0 in the UFC, but with all 5 wins coming by decision. But he just beat you up, man. He take you down and just beat you up for 3 rounds, and he got some decent striking too. But Lopez, man, he came to fight last night, and even though he took the fight on short notice, it was very competitive. And in the first round, he even rocked Mavzar, and you could tell Mavzar wasn't expecting it. And another thing too, Lopez, man, he came close to getting like 3 good submissions, and within the last minute of the last round, he caught Mavzar in a knee bar, and I honestly thought he was gonna break his knee and pop his knee out. And you could even see Mavzar grimacing and he was in a lot of pain. But basically the round ended, and he kind of got saved by the bell in a way. But yeah, Lopez, man, I want to see him. I think the UFC definitely need to bring him back and give him a contract, and because he's a guy that wants it. You could tell he want to be there. He didn't.
Wait, so where is he from?
Brazil.
No, I'm saying you hope that they bring him back. Where he
was a champion in another organization somewhere, in a small organization in Brazil, I think.
Okay.
So, because he stepped in, I feel like they should just give him a contract or buy out his contract with the other organization, and just give him a contract for the UFC.
Yeah. With this fight, it's kind of like what I said about Bendoya. Even though Diego Lopez lost, I was so impressed with him because of the fact that he took this fight. It was actually 5 days notice, and he took it against somebody in the top 10, and he looked very good. He had the striking. He was kind of elusive. He had good footwork. He looks like a well-rounded fighter, and he was exciting to watch. He had pretty good output. His counters were strong. He got a little power. He just seems like an all-around, well-rounded fighter. His takedown defense wasn't really that good, but when he got taken down, he knew how to go for submissions in order to force his opponent to defend and get back up. And I know he did that with the Kimura like twice, and then he did it once with like a arm bar, and then he did it again with the knee bar at the end. But the knee bar, I thought he was gonna get that, and I thought he was gonna get the arm bar too. So Mavzar, he got pretty good submission defense, but I guarantee you, any kind of money, that fight was harder than he thought it was gonna be. And even though Malzar is 17-0, it's like he has 0 finishes, and to me that's kind of a problem. I feel like, especially like I don't know, I just feel like that's a problem. You know, you got no finishes. I feel like that's gonna lead him to start getting finished because the longer you end up with a person, if you go on a distance every time, you're just giving them more chances to finish you. And Diego Lopez almost finished him like 3 times. So my takeaway from this fight overall is I'm really looking forward to seeing Diego Lopez again. And I feel like he has future contender, if not champion, written all over him. And I feel like that was kind of a theme of the night. Like he had a lot of inexperienced guys, or should I say, new guys new to the UFC that were pretty much shining. And I thought that was kind of cool. It's like a glimpse into the future.
So let me ask you this. So this Diego guy took the fight on 5-day notice. So obviously it's hard for him. Who do you think that's hard? Who do you think that's harder on? The guy that's been preparing for somebody else, or the guy that just comes in to step in and take the fight?
I think the guy that just steps in to take the fight, because first of all, like that was his UFC debut too, by the way. But so to deal with the bright lights of the UFC, and he never fought there before, they got what they call the UFC jitters, and people say it's real. And then also you might not even been in camp, whereas this guy was at least in camp training to fight somebody. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know what his training. I feel like in order to do that though, you have to be one of those guys that's always training and not just training when you got to fight.
I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna say that it's harder for the guy that already had a fight because, like, for example, he was supposed to fight Bryce Mitchell. Mozart. He was supposed to fight Bryce Mitchell, who was a ranked contender. You know, that was gonna be like the biggest fight of his career. You training for somebody who got that style, and then in comes this no-name guy who you don't even know. If he's fighting on the regional scene, you might not always have tape on that person, so you don't know if he's what kind of fighter he is. You know what I mean? There's plenty of tape on a UFC fighter because it's a UFC fighter. But if it's somebody that's fighting from Brazil in the regional circuit or something like that, or Mexico in the slums of Mexico, and you can't even find tape on them, you don't know what the hell to expect from that person. And not to mention, he's ranked number 10, and he's fighting somebody that's not even nowhere, not even on the UFC website, basically. You know what I mean? So if he lose everything, you know, and Diego Lopez gained everything. But I definitely think it's harder for the other guy, for Mavzar.
See,
So
go ahead.
You think that's harder than like having the jitters of like,
yeah, because if
I'm going to the UFC and I don't know, I feel like the whole experience, this is your first time in the UFC fighting a top 10 guy. I feel like that can be kind of intimidating. You can let the moment get the best of you.
Yeah, I feel like, but you playing with house money because if Lopez get knocked out in 7 seconds, nobody gonna like. We're not gonna say, "Oh, that was a big upset." We expecting him to get knocked out, you know. But or get knocked out, or he lose, even if he just lose a competitive fight, anything besides a win for him is a disappointment. You know?
Yeah, because even though the way he won, you see how he was making excuses like,
yeah.
After
Oh, this
the fight.
really tough. This guy almost finished. He almost got me 3 times and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I look at it. I actually agree with Bones because I put it back to football when I think it was like 2006, 2007, somewhere around there, when Oklahoma was just steamrolling everybody. You know, they were headed towards the national title. The whole season, national title. Something happened. They lost. They didn't get to make it to the national title. So they ended up having to play Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. Was it Oklahoma or Alabama? One of the two. Either way, it was a big powerhouse. But they ended up having to play Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl, and Boise State beat them. It's not that Boise State was that great of a team, but Alabama had their whole mindset was we're national champions, or whoever it was, Alabama, Oklahoma. Yeah, it was Oklahoma because Adrian Peterson was on that team. We're national championship bound. We're national championship bound. They trained to be in the national title. They trained for a national title opponent. Now here's the letdown of them having to face a virtual nobody in this Fiesta Bowl, which they ended up losing. So when it comes to fighting, like this guy coming in, this guy, he can't lose. I mean, outside of him going in there and just getting completely destroyed, if he goes in and shows a modicum of some type of skill, you're going to look at the guy that is ranked number 10 and be like, damn, why you didn't finish him? You're supposed to beat him up better than that. You're supposed to took him out quicker than that. It's like it's never good for the guy that's been training for somebody else, and now you got to face somebody else, man. That's so hard on so many different levels.
Hey, keep in mind, he picked him because they gave him a list of opponents, and he picked that guy. I want Diego Lopez.
How does that work, though? So, I mean, did they just throw out a list of random names?
I guess they get in touch with people to see if they'll be available and able to make it, and then when they get a list of people who say yeah, they go back to him and be like, all right, which one of these guys you want?
Well. All right, so yeah, I really think that yeah, it's only up for the Lopez guy though. If he showed himself good, it makes his stock go up more, and then you kind of look at the guy that's ranked and be like, damn, bro, what's going on? But hey, it's fighting. Any day somebody could take somebody out. I mean, it just fighting is the hardest shit, man. So what do we have? Okay, so now next we have a women's strawweight bout. Oh wow, this ended in a KO, 2 minutes and 20 seconds in the first round. You have Jessica Andrade losing to Yan Xiaonan. And I think everybody picked Jessica Andrade though.
Not me. I have Bones taking 3 shots because of this right here.
Yeah, remember?
And this was performance of the night also. Wow, okay.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna let you take this one first.
All right. Yeah, I said yesterday that I felt like this was very likely that this could possibly happen. Jessica Andrade is extremely aggressive. Yan Xiaonan is extremely she's kind of like a sniper. She's definitely shown much improvement since her Carla Esparza fight. I feel like going down to Sacramento and training with Uriah Faber and the Alpha Male Academy definitely helped her grappling out tremendously. This fight, the way it ended, Bones, it kind of reminded me of Stipe versus Fabricio Verdum.
Yeah,
like
why you say that?
when you're fighting a high level fighter, you can't come rushing in on a straight line like that. Like you come rushing in, you get knocked out. Like she came, like she was chasing. She kind of like chased her towards the fence, throwing those patented left right hooks, and Yan Xiaonan like was stepping back, and then she angled off to the side. And when Jessica tried to angle off and threw that other hook, she just got caught right on the chair. And it sat her down. Her eyes kind of rolled in the back of her head. She was off balance. She was rushing in, so that made the punch even harder. And then she just got on top of her and finished her from there, and it was a wrap. And yeah, I feel like the UFC would not love nothing more than to have her fight Zhang Weili, which is the champion at this weight class, who's also Chinese. And if they can do that in China, then they would be very happy. That's a promoter's dream.
Man, this was an awesome fight. I feel like within like the first maybe 30 seconds of the fight, Xiaonan set the pace, and she was tagging Andrade, and Andrade started getting frustrated, and she started realizing like, damn, like this is gonna be a long night possibly. You know what I mean? So that's why she started rushing in because she was getting frustrated, and she started getting kind of like impatient, you know. So by her rushing in, like it was a combination of a power shot plus her momentum worked against her because she ran into somebody's fist, like literally, you know. So it was just like double momentum basically, and she was out, and her eyes rolled in the back of her head, and she was protesting the finish, but it was a good stoppage though, and because of this fight, it's gonna be the biggest fight in UFC Asian UFC history. Basically, the biggest fight they can make ever in Asia, because you got the Chinese champion Zhang Weili versus Yang Xiaonan. So that's gonna be a amazing fight, and they both bring it too. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Hey, so you think they'll give it a shot right away? Or you think they're gonna try to make her get one more, like against Lemos or something?
Say it again.
I say you think they're gonna give it a shot right away. Or you think they're gonna try to make her get one more?
I think you should give her a shot right away, because you don't want to take the chance of her losing the fight.
Of her losing, yeah.
That's what I was thinking too.
Go ahead and make it happen, man.
Yeah,
Who would you pick?
It'd be a tough fight. I will probably right now I would pick John Wei Lee, but I reserve the right to change my pick.
Yeah, I'm with
Yeah,
you on that.
the worst thing you could do is lose momentum when you ride in the hot hand.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen that. We've seen that too many times. Where, I mean, I guess you just got to keep bringing it back to this. Let's talk about Constellation Cody. You had a chance to put the belt on him, and now look what we got to deal with. So,
or go to boxing. Look at Anthony Joshua. Him and Deontay Wilder was supposed to fight. He took that fight against Ruiz, got knocked out, and then had to fight him again, and they never fought. Joshua and Wilder.
Apparently, they're doing that in December, and on the same card, they're gonna have Usyk versus Fury.
All right, we'll see.
But you know how boxing is, so that shit might not happen.
wait, who's gonna fight Fury?
Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury, and then Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. That's what they say. It's supposed to happen somewhere in Abu Dhabi or something like that.
I find it hard to believe, because you never have two fights like that on the same card in boxing.
Yeah. You're not gonna have a Wilder and
And plus,
Fury
all the promoters involved, because I don't know if it's Showtime or DAZN, or I don't know who all involved in all that kind of stuff.
No, me either. But that's why I say, like, you never know, because it's boxing, so it still might not happen. But that's what I've been hearing.
All right, so let's get to the Oh, okay, we're at the co-main. So let's get to the co-main event. In the welterweight bout, we have Bilal Muhammad defeating number 5 Gilbert Burns. Wow. Via unanimous decision.
I didn't watch the post-fight show, so I don't know, but something was definitely wrong with Gilbert Burns. I don't know if it came out yet or not, because in the first or second round, he went for a takedown and landed on his left shoulder, and I'm pretty sure he either dislocated his shoulder or popped it out of place or something, because in between rounds, he was telling his coach, like, I can't throw my left. And from the second round, keep in mind, it's a 5-round fight. So from round 2, 3, 4, and 5, he couldn't use his left arm at all. So he couldn't throw no left-handed punches, which basically made him handicapped, and Bilal just took advantage of him and which he should, no knock against him. But I would like to see Gilbert Burns be healthy and see if the outcome would have been different, because I don't know, this fight kind of got tainted a little bit by him getting injured like that. But I will also I will say that Bilal was throwing some nasty leg kicks, or just kicks, period. And he was catching Gilbert's arm, because Gilbert was blocking the head kicks. But every time he blocked the head kick, you're still getting hit on your arm, and that's still taking some kind of damage. And around like round 3, Gilbert's arm was so swollen. I never seen an arm swollen like that from just from blocking kicks. His arms were swollen. His right arm was swollen. So he had a swollen right arm, and his left arm was compromised. So in a situation like that, I wouldn't have faulted the corner if they would have thrown in the towel, because your fighter basically had no chance of winning the fight, and he was just taking more damage. But shout out to Bilal, because he's not going to get a title shot off of this. He's going to fight the winner of Kobe Covington and Leon Edwards.
Yeah, this fight was very disappointing to me also, because of the fact that I really wanted Gilbert to win. I still feel like he's the better fighter. I mean, I guess I'm just not a believer in Bilal. Like he
Oh,
got to be.
Still not believing it.
I mean, my goodness, still,
I feel like he got to beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania for me to give him a shot.
my goodness.
But nah, it's like Gilbert was basically a one-arm fighter. True enough, I will say Bilal has gotten better. Like he didn't go for not one takedown. He got some his kick game was pretty mean. To me, it was the body kicks that was the most impressive. But yeah, I mean Gilbert was a one-arm fighter for like 3.5 rounds, and watching the post-fight show, Bilal say he didn't realize it until the 4th round. So I don't know. I just wasn't impressed. For some reason, it's just you beat a one-arm Gilbert Burns, like whoop de do, like.
So all things being considered, do you think Gilbert shouldn't have took this fight? I mean, like he legit just came off of a fight with Masvidal.
He shouldn't have took this fight.
I don't think he should have took this fight, and I also feel like I wouldn't have been upset if the corner threw the towel in. I feel kind of bad for him though, because he already lost the title shot, so it's gonna be hard for him to get one back. I feel like something really got to go his way in order for him to get back to a title shot. As far as Bilal goes, it's like, so he's gonna sit and wait for the winner of Covington versus Edwards. Whoever wins that fight is gonna beat Bilal Muhammad.
You like to say that?
Nah, I mean, what you think, Bones? You think Bilal could beat Leon Edwards or Kobe Covington?
I think he got a better shot against Kobe. As I was stating yesterday on a pre-fight show, he fought Leon Edwards before, and Leon was getting the better of him. Granted, the fight ended in a no contest because of a nasty eye poke, but Leon was getting the better of him. So I feel like if you fight Leon to get him, because Leon already went against Kamaru 3 times. So, and I feel like Kamaru is a better wrestler than Bilal, even though they kind of got like a different kind of game a little bit. But because Leon done been battle tested against Usman 3 times already, I feel like he should be able to have a good enough defense and stay at range with his kicks and get Bilal. But if Kobe Covington win, I think Bilal can beat him. I don't know if I pick him to win, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised. I definitely think he got a shot.
And you know what Leon Edwards proved?
What?
That the path to the title is through Bilal Muhammad's eye.
But Bilal Muhammad's gonna win a title, and y'all still gonna be like, boy, I don't know if he could do it. He gonna have to. I don't know. He gonna have to win a title in every weight class for me to believe in him.
I believe in him. I think he can get the belt. It's just that if he fight Leon, I think he got a harder chance. You know.
I mean, this poor guy can't. This poor guy can't get a break.
I feel like even if he win the belt, I mean, if he beat one of those 2 guys, then it's like, yeah, I mean, you got to give it to him. I mean, shit, it'll be what it'll be. But I just felt like I still would like to see him fight Gilbert on a like with them both being healthy. That being said, though, it's the fight game, so I mean, like that's just how it goes, I guess. I mean, you never 100%.
And yeah, you never want your guy to suffer an injury. He can't even throw a punch with one of his arms. I mean, that takes away 30% of your offense right there. That's so that's a bad day at the office. But before we move on to the main event, I do want to make an announcement because this is episode number 8, and it's always been titled Straight Talk Sports, but I just realized today that I have another show entitled Straight Talk Sports, which is a basketball show. So what I did, the basketball show will remain being called Straight Talk Sports, but the UFC shows going forward will be called Straight Talk MMA, and then they'll have the subheading of whatever show we're talking about. I don't want to put the actual UFC call letters in the title just because I don't want to get any cease and desist. I don't know how that works, so I don't want to mess around with the UFC. I'm a small time channel, so I don't want to get in any issues with them. But going forward, you could always find this show on the UFC show tab. So like if you go to the channel, all the shows are in playlists. So if you look for the UFC playlist, you'll see all these shows in sequential order, and they're called Straight Talk MMA, and then it would be followed episode number and whatever the card is that we're talking about. So I just want to make that announcement. Just want to make sure that it's organized. So so now let's get into the main event.
Hey, hold on. I want to say one more thing about the co-main. Hey bro, did you notice the way that Bilal was switching stances? Like I've never seen him do that before.
No, me either. He definitely evolved his stand-up game. His kicks,
and it was so like every 3 seconds he was switching. Like every move, like it was weird. And I feel like that's another thing that played a major factor in the fact of Gilbert not being able to use that right arm. I mean that left arm, because that's his jab arm. You feel me? So it's like I feel like when somebody's switching stances like that and they standing right in front of you, I feel like a jab can kind of like you should lead with that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, so I will give Bilal props on that. I ain't gonna completely shit on him. Like that was pretty. I've never seen nobody switch stances like that, to be honest with you, that frequently.
Yeah, right. And then his last fight won by TKO. So he's a fighter that's definitely improving, and I respect it.
Let's look at our boy Bilal. Let's see. See what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for the streak. Where is that?
Click on his name.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute, what did I do?
Yeah, click on his name.
Oh, okay.
And then you can go to his bottom right.
So he is view fight history. So he's what?
3, but if you press load more, it'll show like.
So basically, this dude hadn't lost. This dude hadn't lost a fight in forever. But you still, man. Wow. Yeah, this guy.
Name.
Yeah, this guy haven't lost a fight in forever, but you still want to see him defeat Undertaker at WrestleMania in order to prove his dominance. So let's get into the main event.
Yeah, this is his first win against somebody in the top 10 though. Like I don't know, it's just weird. But all right, we can move on.
You fight who's in front of you. So let's get into the main event. And in the main event, you have Jamaica's own Aljamain Sterling defeating and retaining his bantamweight title against Henry Cejudo in a 5-round split decision.
Bro, I'm gonna let you just take this one first. Go ahead.
To me, this fight lived up to the expectations. It was just like I thought it would be. It was very close, very high level. It was action packed, but it wasn't a brawl. If you can get what I'm saying, like I feel like it was a lot of little nuanced things going on. Aljamain Sterling was kind of keeping him at range with his jabs and his teep kicks, just like I kind of expected. Henry was attacking the legs. Excuse me. I feel like they both attacked each other's legs. Aljamain Sterling had just got the weird movement. A couple of times I felt like he put himself in danger by the way he was dipping his head after his combos. But I feel like it was kind of hard for Cejudo to find his timing. in the beginning of the fight, Cejudo came out like kind of like in a standing straight up with like a high stance. I feel like he kind of readjusted later on in the fight. The decision was razor thin. It was one of those fights that when it's over, I felt like Aljamain Sterling won, but I wasn't really sure what the judges were gonna say. But it was 47-48, 48-47, and 48-47. So that just goes to show you in the split decision how close the judges saw this fight. Cejudo definitely won round 5. I think Aljamain decisively won round 3 or 4. I can't remember which one it was, but those were the only 2 rounds that were really decisive for either guy. I feel like it just lived up to expectation. I feel like towards the end of the fight, Aljamain Sterling looked like he started to get kind of gassed. And I was kind of feeling like the judges might have it even going into the 5th round. So Henry Cejudo, that was his most definitive round. So I was kind of thinking that they might get. I don't know. It was one of those that just had my mind back and forth. I will say Cejudo's takedown defense is amazing. Like his takedown defense was crazy, but Aljo was managing to take him. He took him down probably 3 or 4 times. He took his back like twice, but each time he took his back, it was late in the round. So I feel like that worked out to Aljamain's disadvantage because usually when you take your back, it's a wrap. He usually choke you out.
But well, let's look at this. Let's look at this. In the first round, Sterling landed 29% of his strikes to 15% from Cejudo. Sterling had 2 takedowns to 1 of Cejudo. No takedowns in the second round. And now it's flipped. Cejudo landed 31% of his strikes to 29% from Sterling. So let's go to round 3. Here's the big disparity. So now Sterling landed 45% of his strikes to 38% to Cejudo. They each had 1 takedown apiece in the round. Round 4 now is getting a little more dominant. So Sterling 52% of his strikes to 24%, and then 1 takedown. So he's at 4 takedowns now.
Hey, do it show the totals?
Does it show what?
The totals, because percentages can kind of be like not really. You know what I'm saying? If depending on your volume, percentages can be skewed.
Oh, let me see. Well, I mean, I added up the strikes, and the strikes came up the floor. Strikes by targets, right? But yeah, it's just showing percentages.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice. Again, see, I'm learning all this new stuff. So, okay, so you're getting the full fight breakdown. So Sterling had 186% of his strikes landing. So 71%. I don't understand that second number, but
180 strikes, 181 strikes.
Oh, so okay, so 186 strikes total to 143. 4 takedowns to 3. 135 significant strikes to 99. So he pretty much dominated him this fight.
Yeah, it didn't look like it though. Like if you watch the fight, you wouldn't feel like he got dominated.
Oh, I would say the numbers are lying a little bit, because he didn't dominate him, but he won round 1, 3, and 4. Cejudo rounds 2 and 5, but Cejudo's round 5 was dominant, one of the most dominant rounds of the fight, because he controlled him and he took his. I think he took his back towards the end or whatever. He took him down, but before this fight, in Henry Cejudo's entire mixed martial arts career, he only been taken down once. So, and tonight, Aljo took him down 3 or 4 times. So that just shows, and he's the Olympic gold medal wrestler. So that just shows the level of just rawness by Aljo, basically, But yeah, this was a very close fight, and I would say that Aljo, he moves so funny and so funky, and even after the fight, Henry Cejudo said that watching tape on Aljo, the reason why he wanted to fight him was because he's seen a lot of openings and he felt like he can get him and knock him out. Because Aljo moves so funny and he like to dip his head a lot and stuff like that, which it kind of made me nervous a lot because I'd be thinking he finna get caught with something. And Henry did catch him with like a head kick, once or twice. And I know Henry, he liked to use them knees too, and that's how he knocked out Dominic Cruz. So I was kind of nervous about Aljo ducking in and catching a knee. But overall, this was a good performance by Aljo, and he beat a future UFC Hall of Famer. So this is going to help cement his legacy. And next, he's going to fight Sugar Sean O'Malley. So I'm looking forward to that fight. And Henry Cejudo, he basically said exactly what my brother predicted, that his plan was to win this fight and then go up and then fight at 145 and get that belt too. But
so did he retire?
no, he said he confused because he really expected to win. So like losing wasn't an option to him. So the fact that he lost, he said that he confused and he don't know what he's gonna do now because he don't want to fight just a regular fight. He want to fight for the championship. It's either first or last place for him. So if he's not fighting for the belt, he really don't want to fight.
And also too, I would like to say that you know that one of the judges gave Aljamain the 5th round.
Insane. I don't understand.
And that's the same judge that gave who was it? Joseph Benavidez the last round against Cejudo.
These judges, man.
Cejudo said, "I don't know. I must owe that guy some money or something. I don't know what I did to him." But yeah, who you think will win the fight out of Aljo and Sugar Sean?
I'm gonna go with Aljo, but like I said, bro, like remember Aljo's only loss in the UFC is to Martin Moraes, and how did he get knocked out with a head kick by dipping in? And bro, like I'm telling you, like I feel like that can easily catch up to him. And Sugar, he got that range, so I feel like he can easily catch him with a knee or a head kick or something like that.
Yeah, me too. But if Aljo get a body lock, then it's probably a wrap.
Yeah. His ground game ain't nothing compared to Aljo. So if Aljo just take him down once or just clinch with him, then it's over. But
especially if you get it early. But you see, Matt Serra and Ray Longo was getting nervous as hell in the corner about the way he was dipping his head.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't like that. I don't like that.
And then in the beginning of the fight, he was shooting from far out.
Yeah,
that was something that was kind of like scary.
Yeah. Those two things, him dipping his head and the way he be shooting, is too like reckless for my liking.
So overall, what was your overall takeaway from this card? What was like the thing that stood out the most for you tonight, over the night?
Frivola stood out to me. I'm looking forward to seeing Lopez fight again. Chaos, he need to work on a lot of things, and I would say that Aljo, even though he did win, I feel like he gotta just work on those two things too. But overall, I like the fight, and weirdly enough, like the prelims were better, honestly, than the main card. I'm not saying the main card was bad; it's just the prelims delivered, and the prelims fired.
Honestly, for me, I would say the takeaway from the whole card would be like this new era, like this new generation that's coming in. You see a legend in Henry Cejudo get taken out, and then you see the guys making their debuts. Even though they lost, they just get you excited about their futures in the UFC. And then you see Yan Xiaonan making her step up into title contention and putting out a former title holder and like a multiple times title challenger. So I just feel like even when this current generation of fighter who all got the belts right now are on their way out, it's like the future still looks bright.
Yeah, I would agree. Also, a very random thing, but hilarious. Like the LOL moment of the night was Aljo's teammate, Raw Australian, because of the fight, Sugar Sean got in the ring and he was in Aljo's face and they was talking trash to each other. So the dude came with a Thriller jacket, like the Thriller jacket from the Michael Jackson video, and he took it off in the octagon. And Aljo's teammate took his jacket, put it on, and then ran and hopped over the octagon and was like parading with it basically. And he got pissed off and caused like a scuffle or a little altercation in the ring. But that was pretty funny.
Hey, Trevor, Phil Halls came out to the Rock theme song.
Oh yeah, talk about it, because you sent me a message and you was like, you're not liking this because apparently they had some WWE wrestlers cutting promos.
Yeah, man, it was like on the pre-show. You know how every pay-per-view event got a pre-show, and they was doing the pre-show, and it was like Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Charlotte Flair, and somebody else. The first person that went, I didn't see who it was because I didn't look up. But then I heard Cody talking about the main event. I'm like, damn, that sounds like Cody Rhodes. And I looked up and I'm like, oh my God, like what is he doing here? and then after that, they showed Charlotte, and I'm like, damn, they just got like, and then they showed Seth Rollins. And then something else that they do that's kind of like, I feel like it's not for the UFC, and it almost backfired in their face last night. They said it was a dumb idea, was having Sean O'Malley get into the octagon to try to like start a little bit of drama with almost promoting the next fight with Aljamain Sterling. That shit almost went sour, and it's like,
yeah,
you can't really do that because it's like these are real guys with real egos who are gonna fight for real. You get what I'm saying? And so it's like, if you haven't scripted that can go south, and you can have another Khabib versus Conor situation all over again.
Or Conor, Jose Aldo, when Conor jumped over the cage.
Like, yeah. So it's like, you can't really I don't know, it's crazy, but I felt like that was WWE like.
Listen, I love me some WWE, just wrestling period, and I love me some UFC MMA. But I do not want to watch UFC and see wrestlers on there. You know, like, unless they're in the crowd and they're doing like a little cameo period. I don't want to see a promo from Cody Rhodes or Charlotte Flair before my UFC broadcast. Give me a promo from Conor McGregor or a fighter that's fighting on the next card, from Amanda Nunes promoting her next fight. You know what I mean? We was talking yesterday about promoting their fighters and stuff. The time that they're giving these WWE guys, they can be giving these young up and coming.
They were using the WWE guys to promote their fighters. That's what it was.
What happened?
They were using the WWE guys to promote their fighters.
Yeah, but I don't want to see it.
No, me either. But when you said it, you made it sound like they were promoting a WWE.
No. But I feel like they could use their fighters to promote their fighters and their events. You know what I mean? Instead of using WWE people.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, hey, you know, you're gonna start seeing bits and pieces of it. I mean, it's gonna eventually happen.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna go back down and see Raul Bosas show up in the crowd or something.
Or you might see what's his name, Bilal Muhammad. You still won't. He gonna come up there and call out Roman, and you still wouldn't give him any credit. Hey, y'all, tell me if y'all can hear this real quick. While I got y'all on here, I want to see something. Tell me, can you hear this?
Yeah.
You can hear that?
Oh yeah.
Clear.
Oh, okay, good. So I know that works now. All right, that's good. So, you know, because I got this soundboard and I'm only using it to like 60% capacity, so I need to use it, you know, get my money worth out of it. It should cost a lot of money. All right, so I guess there you have it. What do we have coming up next?
Bones is supposed to be picking a fight to review.
Yeah, there was a fight you guys wanted me to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be Hendo and Shogun.
One or two.
Okay, yeah, just let me. Yeah, send me the link to it or something, or I probably could pull it up on YouTube or whatever. I got ESPN Plus, so I'll probably be able to see it on there too. But what's the next UFC card?
UFC 289 is the next pay-per-view.
And this weekend you got Rosenstrike versus Jair Almeida.
That's a fight night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
heavyweights.
showcasing the heavyweights. That fight shouldn't go too long. I feel like John Almeida is going to submit Rosenstrike. I'm more so looking forward to the co-main event.
What's the
Hey,
co-main?
isn't Nate Landwehr fighting Dan Ige on the same card? Is that the same card?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun.
So who's headlining 289?
That's June. That's Amanda Nunes and Irene Aldana.
Okay, so that's Nunes. All right.
Yeah, that's June 10th.
That's my girl Amanda. All right, well, fellas, we bomb. Go ahead.
It's gonna be a special start time this Saturday. It's gonna be 3 p.m. the main card from Charlotte, North Carolina on ESPN Plus and ABC.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
It was going to end like one in the morning.
No, it starts at 3 in the afternoon.
No, I'm saying, is it going to end at 1 in the morning?
Yeah, he said he think they too long.
Man. Man, they be putting on these damn fight cards, man. I'll be like, good Lord. Yeah, you guys definitely got to get me some footage from Schnurpel's fight if you can.
All right.
So I could play it. And and whenever he's ready to come on, let me know. And I know you said that you were working on something else, so I won't let the cat out of the bag until it's finalized. But yeah, I think that's it though. Peace to everybody that tuned in. Peace to you guys that will watch it later. Hey, it's been another edition of Straight Talk MMA, UFC 288, Sterling versus CEJUDO review. And I think that's it for me. You guys got anything else to close out with?
Nah, that's it. Thanks for your time, and hope y'all enjoy it.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Well, Straight Talk Society, there you have it again. Another fantastic episode of Straight Talk UFC. Straight Talk MMA UFC 288 review. All right, so just before I go, I want to give you a real quick announcement. We do have a show lined up tomorrow night, 6:30, where we're going to talk about the Ebony K. What people are saying is a controversy. It's a very hot topic, so I want to jump on it while it's still relevant. That's what we're going to start doing now. When the topics come up, we'll jump on them like right away. With the podcast, I really couldn't do that because I would have to schedule people and things like that. With this, I just hit the live button and I go live. So that's scheduled to start tomorrow at 6:35. I did have a debate last night, so I want to go over my debate tomorrow before we start that show. So when I start that show tomorrow at 6:35, is going to be strictly pertaining to the topic at hand, and it's a crossover with Pour Your Heart Out and just the regular Man Talk Monday crew. So but before that starts, I'm looking to start around maybe about 5:45, 6 o'clock, maybe, depending on what time I get home. And I just want to go over the debate that we had last night. Me and Nakasha had a really good debate to close out season 5. Now it's just about the seeding for the playoffs and things like that. So I just want to get my final thoughts on the debate tomorrow. We had a post show last night and got all the judges' notes. So everything that could be said was said, but I just want to give my final thoughts on the season and things like that. So I'm going to start that probably about 5:45, maybe 6 o'clock. And then at 6:30, we'll bleed into the Man Talk Monday show where we will discuss everything surrounding Ebony K. And I'm pretty sure we'll get into a whole lot of more stuff. Just because when you talk about that type of thing, emotions get to flaring up and people start taking the show in a bunch of different directions. So look forward to that tomorrow, man. That should be a very, very interesting topic. And I'm looking forward to discussing it tomorrow. So look for me to go live tomorrow, like about 5:45, maybe 6 o'clock at the latest, depending on what time I get home. So everybody else, enjoy your Sunday. You know, we got work tomorrow for the most of us. So enjoy your Sundays. Thanks for tuning in. It's been real from the guys over here at Straight Talk MMA. We'll see you the next time go around. Peace.
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and the best is blessed, baby.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. Keep it clean. Touch gloves if you wish. Let's do it.